In 2007, the proposed bill, HB 286, passed and school discipline and conduct was to go into effect. The bill assists teachers and administrators with disruptive students. It functions by allowing 3 opportunities to be referred to the principal for classroom disruption. Subsequent to a student being disruptive at least 6 times or being suspended twice in 1 year, students can be sent directly to the juvenile justice system rather than discipline being handled within school bounds.
Federally, there's nothing in the Constitution written, and there's nothing been interpreted by the Supreme Court to say that there's a right to education. However, in most constitutions, including Utah, there is a right. Open education to everybody doesn't necessarily mean equal education.
The HB 286 bill turned statute outlines the process a student undergoes when committing a zero-tolerance infraction and defines the term disruptive. This definition is important in that it has a broad definition that can be easily interpreted differently by different people. Disruptive behavior is defined as frequent or flagrant willful disobedience, defiance of proper authority, or disruptive behavior, including the use of foul, profane, and vulgar or abusive language. Keeping this in mind, we decided to ask educators and administrators how disruptive is defined in schools.
Well, I think disruptive just means that it's going to interrupt the usual order of things. So if you have a regular schedule or certain expectations, anything that sort of interrupts that or makes you deviate from those plans would be considered disruptive. I think it's usually cast as a negative. I don't think people realize the positive quality of disruption.
So disruptive is anyone trying to overly control their environment.
You're all moving in a pack, and you're all sitting at desks. You're all doing the same work at the same pace. And I think we, as a society, if we're thinking about education and disruption, we think in terms of that being something that's violent, or we think of something that child acted out or threw a tantrum, but sometimes disruption can just be that you didn't move at the pace.
If schools and academic achievement are so vital to success and maintaining a harmonious society, what kind of society are we cultivating by pushing students out of educational spaces and into the justice system, where they will be forever affected with a criminal record?
Junior high, man, that's when it's like, you know, you see the Migos doing their thing, and by that time, you know, the Tongs already had we had our gang. You know what I'm saying? It was TEKI. You know what I'm saying? Either you want to be like this, or you're like playing sports. You know, that's it. And so when you see the Migos doing their thing, then automatically us, we're like, we got a gang too. Like, it ain't something we started. It's already there, and we're just representing what's our people's already has been represented. Just like the Migos are doing the same thing. You know, Balangi's doing the same thing. Uoli's doing the same thing. So I guess when you get there, you're automatically, if you're Tony and you want to be a gang member, it's already there for you. You know what I'm saying? The setup. You get in a fight. In Glendale, you get in a fight, it's 5 days. Or I think it's your first time, like 2 or 3 days, and then after that, it's 5 days. The whole week, you get off. You know, so. You know, you go up here in elementary, you say, bearing what do they call it? Pledge allegiance to the flag. You know what I'm saying? They teach you we're all equal. You know what I'm saying? And every American's the same or whatever. But like, every time you take a test, you know what I'm saying? They tell you, like, what race are you? You know what I mean? Yeah. And in your head, you know what I'm saying? We put a race, you that automatically, you're thinking I'm separate. You know what I mean? That's different than me. Like, we're not American. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at us like Americans because they ask you what nationality are you, you know what I'm saying? But we're taught that we're all Americans, equal, you know what I'm saying? So I think kids that, without even knowing it, once they put that down and see that question, automatically know they different than other people. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm an islander. Oh, this dude's Miko. You're not even looking at like we're all in America growing up. You know what I'm saying? You automatically look at it like you're separate. You know what I'm saying? So you see the Mikos kicking there, you see the Pamamis kicking in, and you're shooting all parties. You know, Tongan kicking. And then coming out of prison, that's all you know, like, all of a sudden you're like, man, you see everyone you grew up with, man, they married kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you see them working. Shoot. I did 9 years, man. All I know was when I was like 18, 17, 16, I'm like, that mentality. Come on, it's like, man, you gotta get a job. You get your ID, Social Security and stuff like that. So, you know, next year, like, you gotta work, man. Like, you know how to go to an interview, you don't even know how to interview. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm used to being in the system where you're talking to counselors and cops who automatically know you're a criminal. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I go to talk to those, like, to get a job, I automatically think that's what they're thinking about. So I don't know if I come out looking, you know, I probably don't seem confident. They probably see that and like, oh, you know, look like he really wants this job, you know. He looks timid or maybe he looks like he just don't care because I'm like, man, this fool knows I'm like, everyone knows I'm a criminal. Like, he looking at me like I'm a criminal. That's just automatic in your mind, even if you don't know that.
I mean, if we're thinking about like conventional like suspension or expulsion, as we heard the other day, why would, if a kid is having trouble, like if it's truancy getting to school, why would you kick them out, right? If we're trying to educate, why would we ask them to leave and why would we kick them out? So I don't see any rehabilitation with that. We're such a punitive society that even when we have these policies that tend to push in sort of like peer court or things, I have to often wonder if we are so socialized that there has to be a punitive measure that is corporal or expulsion. Or
I think that zero tolerance policies rob mercy. It's all about justice, and I think if students actually knew what was happening to their classmates, there would be some major problems. Saying, well, look at the external circumstances. Of course it's understandable that a boy who's starving steals lunch. Why don't we feed the kid rather than beat him? And so zero tolerance, I think, robs mercy.
I just feel like zero tolerance has a tendency to be super reactive and excessive, like excessively reactive, and I think that it's really easy to say that it's for safety, and people will go along with that. You know, I think they're like, oh, kids, safety, this is important. This is a trope that we're all, you know, like, of course we're concerned about safety and kids, but I think it's really easy to pass off excessive acts of violence against individual students. I think we should get rid of them.